Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where last episode we started to work on the beginnings of a metro system. We have a bit of an experimental metro system going on here, so if we go down to subway and we look like underground here, right? So just underground here, we can see that we have the beginnings of this going. Now, I want to take a bit of a look at what we have going on here. So I just want to, can we have it be at this view and just go underground? Yes, we can. Okay, so we see a train moving this direction and this direction right now. The question is this actually achieving anything? Well, we see a train currently parked at this station. Okay, so that's relatively fine for right now. We just want to monitor this and make sure that this is working okay. And I think for the moment it will be. We're just going to slowly expand this system. For right now, I want to check in to see, let's see, service fees. So public transport fees are currently 0. If we go into our services and we look at transportation. So this is currently just a cost for us. That's not shocking, but how do we set the actual fees for this? There's taxation here. This is our budget. Yeah, I'm interested in public transport fees and figuring out exactly how much this public transport fee ends up costing. Maybe we get that from here? So we view details on subway line 1. Okay, so we can see that the ticket price is currently 8. That's the default price. And this is the line map. Okay, sure. We can actually, I think, see where the trains are. So there's currently a couple of trains in here. There are passengers on it, too. We'll keep an eye on that and make sure that this is at least quasi-functional. Currently, I don't know if it will be or not. We'll see. So looking in at our line here, yeah, we can definitely head up here. But once we get there, there's no way to head back down, right? So what we need to do is we need to extend this guy out a bit and bring that underwater, or not underwater, underground about over here. So we'll just bring that out to be about, oh, that's not in curve mode. I intended for this to be in curve tool. Let's get that out of there.
Second Moon Radio
okay,
Classical.
So in curve tool, we're going to need to grab our double tracks, curve mode, and extend this out about like so. Bring that underground and joining in somewhere around here. So now we can have trains head into this maintenance yard. This one is still not operational, but we're not running into any bottlenecks for that right now. So for the moment, this seems reasonably okay. If we even need train maintenance. I'm honestly not entirely sure with what's going on with regard to that. So we can see that currently, the current number of passengers in the vehicle out of the current maximum passenger capacity. Yeah, we can see there's 7 passengers. Is this one pet? I'm not sure what this paw is indicating here. There are definitely passengers boarding our subway, though. So that will reduce traffic levels. That is a good thing. But we're going to need to expand our subways quite a lot. I think for now, we're going to wait until we hit like at least 4 million. And let's bump up our speed. So that'll be fine for the moment. Now, obviously, the subway doesn't go very many places right now, right? I'm not expecting this to be a huge, like, transformative thing right now to transform the way that our city does transit. Obviously, that's not the case. This is a small-scale test to figure out how building a system like this will end up working. And currently, it works in a mildly awkward fashion. No doubt about that. But it currently has connections, and that's good. So I think that these trains are waiting to fill up more. Is that what's happening here? I feel like they should just kind of go. I'm wondering how many people would be waiting down at, say, this subway station. These people are, I think, on the road. So if we were to look at this underground subway station, we can see passengers waiting 8. Okay, this train is on the move with 3 passengers. So I guess eventually they do get going. That's good to know. Now, if we look in here, how much have we made from public transport fees? About 2,000. This is almost certainly negative. If we look at our service upkeeps here, or if we just look at our services here, and we go to transportation, can we see a breakdown? I mean, this is going to include... No, this isn't going to include roads. This is going to be just our transit budget upkeep. Right. So obviously this is very, very far away from profitability. That's not necessarily the point. We don't necessarily want our mass transit service to be profitable. We want to reduce the reliance on roads. That's the idea. And that's exactly what will end up happening. So for the time being, this is all looking relatively okay. We're mostly just keeping an eye on our mass transit system, and we're going to need to redo these lines. I just want to make sure that everything is connected together, right? And currently, obviously, this area up here is very awkward in the way that it is implemented, and we will be changing that. No doubt about it. We're going to be making all of these intersections more similar to this, with the idea being that we need to be able to get trains to and from these horizontal lines from these subway yards. That's the idea here. So if we look at the actual subway yard, we can see that it's currently utilizing 4 out of 15 vehicles. Okay. And also, the subway yard itself is 98,000 of our upkeep. That is a full half of our upkeep. So that means that this is going to scale reasonably well. That's good. That is a very, very good thing. We're pleased to see that, for sure. And of course, we have some headroom here on how much we're making currently. We can definitely expand our subway somewhat. So I think overall, this is proving to be a successful experiment, but it is going to need a little bit more work, for sure. So looking at this underground subway station, we can see people heading in. That is a good sign. People are indeed utilizing our subway. I like it. 39 people are currently waiting here. And how do we see where in the line the current station is? These all look the same. Not sure exactly what's going on with that one. But yeah, we're going to be redoing these lines for sure. I want to have eventually one line going horizontally and one line going vertically for like each of these intersections, right? So each highway would have a dedicated subway line to it, and then from there you'd be able to like walk to your destination, would be the idea. So that's eventually going to be what this ends up being, but that will be quite expensive to implement. So like I said last time, we're going to be doing that very, very piecemeal. Now, as far as our developments over here go, this is all going relatively fine. We may want to start considering developing this area up over here. That'll be relatively cheap, of course. We should be profitable while doing that. So let's just have this lock to angle for now. And I want to take this angle up to somewhere around here. But what we really are going to need to do is have it be 112. So about right there. And that does not feel like it's the correct angle, does it? It doesn't. So we're going to need to turn angle snap off, and we're going to end up having this be somewhere about here. That is more correct. It's not perfectly correct, I don't think, but it is certainly more correct. So now I'm going to bring this guy up right here. And then we can bring this up angle snapping. And that's going to end up being right about here. Looks good. And then this angle snap looks correct. Fantastic. Now we'll get this next road. Bringing that up angle snap only. Where's that angle snap at? Oh, we're not snapping to anything. There we go. Angle snap. This is then going to be 112 meters, and that gets brought right on over like so. And then the next one will, of course, be going up a little further to 224. Right there. Perfect. I still want this to just be angles now. Okay, so we'll then bring this guy out like that. Then we can connect these up. They're probably not going to be absolutely perfect, but they're actually pretty good right now. Yeah, they're not 100% perfect. But I don't hate that. That is pretty close. This one would come in right about there. There we go. And then we just extend this road northward, angle snapping. Well, we can just have it be only angle snap. And that would end up being about here, here, and here. Ish. Cool. So it'll be something along the lines of that. Although I'm not 100% sold on this one here. We'll come back to that. These roads are a little bit less important. So we'll bring this one up about like this. Right, I think, here. There we go. And now this road comes on up. There we go. Excellent. And finally, this one. Cool. That'll do. So something along the lines of that. I think that we're getting a little closer to the edge of the... Oh, we definitely are getting closer to the edge of the city here. It's probably fine. So that'll be okay for now. And we're just going to continue to advance our highways here. Excellent. So this is just going to head on up over like so. Cool. That'll do for now. And then this highway, we'll see how this is going for straightness. So we'll just bring this guy in something like this. This does not look straight to me necessarily. I mean, it's definitely offset to the north here. But it's also offset to the north here. It's about the same. We'll call it good for now. So we'll just put in our roundabout here. Oh, high fuel plant. Apparently the fuel plant is now available. We're going to need to remove this section of highway here because that was sloped too steep. And then we'll just put that right back in. Excellent. Something about like that. This is further up, isn't it? Yeah, it definitely is. Okay, let's get this out of here for now. And I'm going to leave just this little section of highway for snapping purposes. And we're going to bring in snapping on. Okay, I want to bring this guy out, and we can determine it to be about right here or so, or we could just move it down and have it be down here, and just have this roundabout be slightly offset. I think technically it should be about here, if that's what we're going to do. Okay. And then we'll bring this up and over here. There we go. Roundabout slaps on in there. And now we can do on-ramps. Cool. So those will be nice and easy in this area, in theory. And we'll have that be something along the lines of that. Sure. And that. Excellent. No left turn. No left turn. Up over here, this is going to be out this direction. Cool. That looks fine. And fine. It's actually kind of close to being symmetrical, remarkably. Next up will be up over here, and that will, of course, be not complex curve, just regular curve in here. Sure. Seems okay. And in theory, out here. Yeah. Broadly okay. It's not perfect, but it rarely is. Okay, something about like that. Now, off-ramps up over here would end up being about here. Sure. And kind of in between these spots, but whatever. We'll just do it something like that. No left-hand turn allowed here. And that looks good. Okay, so this area is now developed. So let's get our marquee select tool, and this is going to be out over this direction. To about there or so. This is set up as row housing, I think. Yeah, this is all set up as row housing right now. I'm going to rezone that into being light residential. So something along the lines of that. And that should help with our demand, although our demand is starting to get kind of under control. Wait, we now have amazing healthcare service? Fast and reliable support? Ooh. Apparently. Not sure how that happened, but sure. We'll take it. So I want to take a quick look at this intersection down over here.
Road conditions. Please exercise caution if you must drive and try to stay off the streets until conditions improve. This is
so broadly, the issue here is just a throughput issue, I think. Traffic is moving okay. A third lane of traffic would be likely helpful here. So we could think about bringing this up to be a 6-lane road. This is one of those situations that our mass transit would likely greatly alleviate.
The commercial district is
but for now, we can just do something kind of like that. Getting a third lane going here, and that should allow more traffic to move through. We may want to have this third lane be extended back slightly further to about here.
Or so my wife tells me. That's good for business and good
yeah,
for the
something
community.
along the lines of this or so.
We'll be back after this.
Cool. So it'll take some time for them to get into their proper lanes, right? And we've got this hatchback here just kind of chilling. But it'll get out of there soon enough, and we want to make sure to get rid of these crosswalks. No crosswalks here. We don't want pedestrians crossing these areas. Thank you very much. Okay, no crosswalks in any of this.
Or we could
Beautiful.
Say that we're enjoying
So that all looks good for now.
balance, and the economy is booming.
And the additional throughput
More
will
after this.
likely help us get through this slightly faster. Not sure what this semi is up to, but like I said, the primary solution for that is going to be our subway. So that's fine for now. We're currently chilling at about 3.9 million. We're going to need that to come up. And I also do see a traffic jam happening here. Honestly, this might do well with something like a traffic light. We'll just plop in a traffic light there and things should start to clean up. Because we've got problems like this, where these guys are trying to cross each other's lanes and then just sitting in the intersection forever. So a traffic light will probably help this area. But I don't think ultimately this is going to be a huge issue. That said, there are a fair amount of people down here trying to turn down this way, but once this cleans up a little bit, it should be better. Traffic light should help this tremendously. In theory. I mean, except for the pedestrians. Get out of here, pedestrians. There we go. Excellent. So I think that overall, this looks pretty decent. No problem there. Yeah, I think that's fine. There's definitely traffic issues up to the north. And we're also seeing a traffic jam popping up over here. Now, this is rush hour at this point, 17:48. So that's like 5:45 or so in 12-hour time. This is definitely rush hour here, and we're seeing some results of that. This is the exact problem that we're trying to solve with our mass transit. Of course, our mass transit is not scaled up high enough to be able to do anything like that at this point. So I want to grab our underground subway station here, and I want to see how many passengers we have waiting. Okay. Broadly, we have a few, is what I'm going to say. I want to look in here at what we're getting from public transport fees. So that has tripled. Okay. I mean, it definitely needs a lot more work. And just getting some of these cars out of here would greatly alleviate this problem. No doubt about that. So this is just kind of flowing on through. My cat is mildly distracting me right now. However, let's proceed here. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on this traffic here. Honestly, this is, like I said, this is a rush hour issue. And we have things like this going on, where a lot of people are trying to exit this highway here. Like, what's happening here is we're seeing a migration, right? We're seeing a migration from this area to this area and this area and this, like all of our residential areas. So that is exactly what's going on here. And this is exactly the problem that is solved primarily. What is going on here? This doesn't look right. Hang on. This is a problem that is solved primarily by, yeah, these should be highway. There we go. And no left-hand turns. Primarily by our mass transit system, which is not currently fully functional, but it will get there. And we need to figure out exactly where we want to prioritize the mass transit system going in. It will be expensive, and we'll have to balance it against our current financial trend, right? So we want to just make sure that we don't overexpand our mass transit system to the point where we cannot upkeep it anymore. So I want to hop down into here and think about expanding our subway system, right? So we currently have our subway system. What are we looking at right now? This is a really awkward way to be looking at things. Okay, the subway station is here, for sure. We can put in station services. That'll increase the comfort level. I'm not too concerned about the comfort level right now, to be honest. That's reasonably fine. But what I am really interested in seeing is on this subway line, it's got 202 passengers right now, and it's at 5% usage. Okay, so that is reasonably expected. And it currently runs 24-hour, day and night. Okay, that's absolutely fine for the moment. So a lot of these in the residential areas... Yeah, I'm just thinking about how we do want to structure this. Because obviously, rush hour is a bit of a problem right now. We do have traffic jams at rush hour. No doubt about that. Taking a look at situations like this, this is primarily caused by these guys wanting to turn this way, I think. Are they... Is there a stop sign here? Why are they behaving like this? Well, that guy wanted to turn. That makes sense. Okay. Seems all reasonably fine, but traffic is slowly moving, but there's a lot of traffic issues here, right? That is not at all shocking. And this structure collapsed. Let's get rid of that. Not at all shocking during rush hour. We absolutely need to expand our metro for this to get fixed. So, the next one would, of course, be going in down over here. This currently has a firehouse there. So I'm going to relocate the firehouse up over here. There we go. And the underground subway station is going to go in right down here. There we go. And obviously that doesn't connect to anything. But that does actually free up a little bit of space to zone here. Not much, but a little bit. And of course we give up some space to zone up here. But then we can run our double subway track over this direction and just link this in like so. Just like that. So that'll be fine for right now, and we can just continue to expand this horizontal line. And then once this is done, we can make this into its own unique line and this into its own unique line. And we can figure out exactly how we're going to connect this. This is not how this is going to remain connected. But we can see just doing that did cost us like 50,000 or so. A little over 50,000. It's pretty expensive to get this all put in. But once it's done, it's going to be quite significant. So we can put another one in over here. Something like that. And then this would just, I think, reverse here. Yeah, this is not developed over here yet, so we wouldn't run an additional subway station over here until and unless this gets fully developed. But it would be something along the lines of that. And the current route that is here is, of course, a temporary testing route. And it seems to function, so I think that we've got that figured out. But we absolutely do need to start massively expanding our subway system, and that's going to be expensive. So we need to keep an eye on our financial trend here. But we also need to keep in mind that the more we expand this, the more service fees we're going to be getting from public transport. Currently, our public transport is very, very negative. We can look at that revenue and see, yeah, it's not great. But keep in mind, half of this is our subway station. Like, our subway yard up here. Fully half of it. Well, not quite half, but very, very close. So overall, I think this is reasonably fine. I don't think there's a major issue there. We just need to clear up our roads a little bit so that this sort of thing doesn't happen anymore. What do we actually have going on here? They're just trying to merge into these exits, and then this is where the real problem is. This is just a million semis attempting to navigate this roundabout, and semis don't do too well in roundabouts anyway, regardless of whether or not they're doing this nonsense. So this is obviously a bit of an issue. No doubt about that. But just reducing the number of, well, mass transit isn't going to help the semis here, right? But it will help the cars. Some of them. Not all, but some. This, I think, overall is indicative of us needing possibly a way to get from this highway up to our industrial and commercial area without going through all the roundabouts. That's what this is indicating to me, and that's something we can maybe tackle in the next episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadowwolf, Kentogan, Ali Lee, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.